Alright, so what I'm going to do here is actually show you how I build my websites, how I use the Chrome developer tools to actually live code my website so I can see how far I should make things or how big things are. And this is super helpful because you can see things instantly. There's the instant feedback. And then once you get it the way you want to, you just take the code and put it in your code. Let's go to our terminal and let's cd into our project. And then let's open this up in the Finder like so. And then we can open this up in the browser. And then let's open this up in our code editor, which is Atom. Okay. And then if you look at it, there's nothing here right now. And so what you can do to get the Chrome Dev Tools, one way to get it is to go up here to Developer and Developer Tools. The other way you can do it is if you right click onto the browser, you can do Inspect here, and that will actually open up the Dev Tools. So this is what the Dev Tool looks like. And today we're just going to go over this section of it. This is a place where you can play around with your HTML, CSS, and you can see your margins, and there's a whole bunch of stuff here that you can play with, but I'm going to show you the general thing I use all the time. And so first thing I do when I get a page is I will take a look at our mockup. So here we have our mockup, and I will kind of gauge the height of this, and then I will that looks about right. So now I have that set up. I want to add some HTML tags in here to add the image and stuff like that. So I'm going to work on this first, which is this bicycle image right here. So let's go here, let's go to our code. And so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a div, and I'm going to call the class hero because that's the general name of what this is right here. So we're going to call that hero right here. And then let's add our image. And so our image is our assets and hero PNG. So if we go to assets here, it's our hero PNG right here. That's our image. That's what we're going to use. So let's save that. And let's refresh our page right here. So now we have the image here. And if you see right now, the image is too big. If we take a look at the mock-up, it needs to be the same width of this page right here. So what we want to do is actually target that. So what we're going to do is write some CSS here. So what I'm going to do right here is all I'm going to do is do .hero, which grabs that class selector, and then I want an image that's in there. And then let's save this and let's refresh right here. And then if you hover over the image and press inspect, you'll actually get the exact location of the HTML. And this actually gives you the tag that is associated with it. So if we go to hero here, we don't have any HTML in there. But if we added this here and then saved it and refreshed, you take a look at this area here. Now we have a hero here. So this is how you can play around with it and add it in there. You can also just play with this div by itself by using the element.style, and that will just play with that one. So if I said width 200 pixels, that would make this 200 pixels. So if you can see in the left side there, that's 200 pixels wide. But that's not what we want, so let's delete this. So one thing with using the dev tools is that once you put something in here and you're playing with it, if you refresh the page, it's not going to be there anymore. It's going to actually disappear. So let's go to our image and let's change this. I know I want this to be a width 100%. So one thing's really cool with the dev tools is that it'll actually autocomplete what you have and actually show you the different type of properties you can actually use. So these are all the ones that have a W in it. So I can go with, and then it'll show you all these ones. So this is a good way to just kind of look up stuff. Maybe, I've never used will change before. So maybe I'll go look that up. All right, so I want that to be 100% width. So that looks good to me. If I open up my mockup, that looks pretty good. So let's copy that. So what you can do is highlight that, Command C, and then go into the browser and Command V. One thing to note, once I set up my document, first thing I want to do with my CSS is actually do a CSS reset. So this is actually the CSS reset right here, these block of codes right here. And all that does is actually reset all the browsers. Each browser has their own default styles, and normally when we're building our own website, we don't want that to cause problems for us when we're actually designing. I remember when I was trying to do something and, the Chrome browser added its own padding and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, man, how do I get rid of this? And eventually you know how to, but if you do a CSS reset, that resets everything, and all you have to do is put it in the beginning of your CSS code. And if you, of course, you probably don't remember all these lines of code, so just look it up. Just do a CSS reset, and you can just use one of these. If you click on one, they'll give you the actual CSS reset. Just copy and paste that into your CSS, and you're good. So let's move on here. Let me show you some cool stuff that you can do. So let's delete this because we're not going to use it. And let's add our top bar because that's what I want to work on next. So this top bar right here. So let's go and add our top bar here. So I'm making a div with the class name top bar. Then I'm going to do a UL with LIs. All right, let's save that. And let's refresh the page. Now we have a top bar. And what happened to our image? Oh, I must have deleted the wrong one. So let's go back to our CSS. And I did. This is supposed to be image here. And let's refresh. And there we go. So this doesn't look right at all. So let's fix this here. And so what I want to do with this is actually make it display inline block like so. Oh, nope, I didn't want that one. So I wanted this actual LI. So I want all the LIs here to do that. So let's get our LIs to do it that way. So let's go here. It's at top bar, and let's make sure it's a class, and then let's do li like so, and let's refresh the page here. And if you can hover like this and right click and inspect, and that'll bring you to whatever you're hovering over, and then you can see what might be your parent tag that you have in your HTML. So let's click on this right here, and then we actually want the li. So now we have that selector that I put in there. So I'm going to attach all the li. So let's do a display inline block like so. And so now I have it all set up like that, and that looks pretty correct to me of how I want to work it out. And I also want to add some spacing here, so let's do a padding 20 pixels, and I actually just want it on the top, on the sides. Let's do that for now, and let's copy and paste this so we can keep this. And one thing I want to do is if I hover over the top bar here, I want this to move out of the context of the HTML document. And to do that, I need to do a position absolute. So let's play with this right now. Position absolute. So now let's do top bar, and then we know we want to position absolute. Save that, refresh the page, and I want to take these underlines out of here. So let's inspect this real quick. And then what I want to do is, let's look it up. I don't remember what it is. And the way I work is I don't remember a lot of stuff that I do. I just reference it, and I know that I can find it online. So I know what to look for when I'm searching. So right now, like, I want this underline to not be there. So, I would look up like a tag no underline CSS. So let's look at the Stack Overflow here, and let's see if they have anything. And so right here is the code right here, text decoration none. So let's grab that. And then we can do the A tag here, and let's see if it works. So it looks like it works. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to grab the A tag from the top bar. So dot top bar li tag. The more specific you are, the more it'll take your code into consideration. So if I just did an A, if something else targeted an li and a, it'll take that more into consideration because it's deeply searching for it. So it's just something you should know when you're doing stuff. Let's save that, and let's refresh. And there you go. Those are gone. And let's change the color too. So I want color. And in my image, looks like it's like a blackish color. So let's do color black. So let's, you can just copy this whole thing too, like so, and just paste it in here. You can do it like that also. Let's save that. Let's refresh. So I don't remember the best way to actually center this, and that's what we want to do in this image. And so I want to center it so that it's responsive too. So when we move it, it'll actually work also. So let's go online and look up top bar center rings. HTML. Let's go here. And let's take a look at let's take a look at this one. So this one has different ways you can actually do your nav bar in the center. So there's multiple ways you can actually do it. So let's do the first one first. Let's see how we can do this. So it says right here, it's probably using margin auto to center the nav. If your menu items are fixed with, then this method is probably the easiest way to center your nav. So let's do that. Let's take a look at their code. And one thing that we have to make sure is that our UL right here has its own width. So let's go here. And let's go to the UL. Let's go here and let's do a width of 200 pixels. And that looks like it's too small if you look at it. So let's bump this up a little bit. Let's hover over that. That looks pretty good, so we'll keep that for now. So what we want to do is just right here, do a top bar UL. And let's paste that in there and then save it. So when we refresh, it'll do that. And so now what we want to do is we want to take a look at our other code that we have. So it's saying the UL should have a margin auto and line style none. Let's put that in there. Nothing happened there at all. So let's take a look at this LI. Let's do a float left. So these LIs here, I want to do a float left. And that puts that on top there. Oh, wrong button. Didn't mean to save that. So let's do that, and let's do something here. So now this isn't working right here, and one of the reasons is this top bar needs to have a width on it. So right now the width, if you can see, it's only 500 by 888. If you can see on the left side there, it actually shows you. So what we have to do is do a width 100%, and that would put that in the middle there, like so. So we're getting closer and closer to what we want. So let's copy and paste this whole thing and replace the top bar here. And then I think we have to do something else. The LIs has the float left that we did. Let's go here and add this float left here. Let's see what happens if we don't have a float left. Let's do a float left. Let's leave it like that. And then let's save that. And let's refresh. Oop, I missed something. Oh yeah, right here. I forgot the margin auto right here. So let's grab this code. And I might just need the margin auto 0. So margin 0 auto. Okay, it looks like that's all I need. So let's do that. Put that there. So we're getting, oh, that's in the wrong place, sorry. That's supposed to be in the UL. So let's put here in the UL. And then refresh this right here. So now we're pretty close to actually how it looks like. Now what I have to figure out is how to center it. But let's do this for now. Let's move this and see how it responds to what I'm doing. So that's cool. So I can open this up and then move this, and just resize it. And now we can see a couple things, right? So let's take a look. Let's work on this this right here, this icon right here. Now let's just try to make it this size. Let's inspect that. And then let's change this image size right here. Let's do width 50 pixels. And let's take a look at our sizing here. If you take a look at it, it needs to be slightly a little bit bigger. So let's take a look at that. It's not in the right space, so let's move it over a little bit. That looks pretty good. Maybe I'll just bump it up to an even number. Sometimes I'll do that if it's an odd number, even though it might not match as much. But I like to have even numbers in my CSS, so I'll bump it up a little bit. It won't make that big of a difference. Let's do this. And what we have to do is grab the image here, or not there, but here. So what we do is we would do dot top bar li a, and then the image tag like so, and paste this in and save it. Let's refresh this one and see that stayed the same now. So the next thing I have to do is figure out how to center these. So let me show you a couple things before I do that. So a couple things you can do with the dev tools is you can actually view, like you can find colors. So let's say black. So let's do this. Let's move this. Let's go to our LIs and let's change the color of this right here, or this A tag here. You want to change the color, right? So if you take a look at it, if you hover over here and click on this box, you get this color picker here. And so you can select the color and you can see it live changing. So let's see, if we wanted green, you can change it to green like so. You also can do transparency. So you can do like percentages and transparency. So once you're done with that, it'll actually give you the number that you need to make that color, and then you just copy and paste it. You can also color pick it. So let's go here and let's just say I like this gray right here. You can select that gray and get that gray. So let's copy and paste this, and I actually like that gray other than just straight black. And paste that in and refresh. And one thing you can do too that's really neat is you can actually live code in here. So let's add a couple LIs here just to show you how to do it. So if you click here in the UL, say edit HTML, it actually lets you edit inside of here. So let's just copy this line, paste it here, and let's copy here and paste it here. And if you click out of it, you can see now that I have an issue with my nav or my top bar now. And how I would fix that is I would probably change the width of this UL here so that it's bigger. So if you hover over the number here and click on it, if you press the up and down button, you can do pixel by pixel the size of it. So let's keep on going until we get something that looks pretty good. So right there. So let's do 650 and just kind of even that out. So now I know that I can change this to that if I have extra stuff. So this is a way you can play around with it before actually committing to it and seeing how it works. Of course, I don't want these many buttons right now, so I'm just going to refresh and not save that stuff. So what I have to do is also figure out this, because I don't think it's in the center correctly. So let's go back and let's just, once it hits there, we're going to stop it right there. And so 446, so let's copy and paste that. So one thing you can do is actually look at your mockup too, right? So let's look at our mockup. And let's put it against here. And this is actually not where we want it. So one thing I'll do is I'll make this smaller. And then that way I can see actually where I want it to be. So I want it to be somewhere right here. So let's go here and then just tweak it so it goes where we want it to. So let's stop it there, come up here, and just kind of take a look at it and see if it's in the right spot or not. Looks like we have to move to the right just slightly a little bit. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Let's take a look at that. And sometimes I'll just draw a line, move it here, and that way I can see exactly if that line meets here. And it looks like it's pretty close. I have to move it just slightly a little bit. Let's just do 470. Let's take a look at that. Let's go here and go up. That's pretty close. It's good enough for me, so let's get out of there. So now we can see like the spacing, like the font wants to be different. It also wants to be smaller. So let's see if we can center this. First thing I want to do is put some spacing right here. So on the top bar, let's move this here. Top bar here, I want to add, you can add a margin, just do a margin top, and let's just say 20 pixels. And then I'll go here and just take a look at it and see if it's in the right place. I want to take a look at the logo, really. So this wants to go down maybe 2-3 pixels. So let's go 1, 2, 3. And then go here and take a look at it. That looks pretty good. And so let's see, how do I center this in there? So let's take a look at it online. CSS horizontal align. Text and div. Let's take a look at the first one. And it says, I have a div, blah, blah, blah. And it says, if it is one line of text or image, then it's easy to just use text align center, vertical align middle, line height 90, same as your div height. And let's see, it says here, update for 2016-17, position relative, top 15%, transform, translate 50%. So let's see if this works right here. And let's see if that will do anything. Let's just put it here and see what happens. Let's go up. And now it's in the center right there, which is cool. That's what we want. So now we can probably take off this padding here. I don't like that padding. Oh, that's a toolbar. So let's go up. And let's just find out where this was again. Let's go here. Let's line that up. Let's put that line back in here like we had it. And do like that. So now we can find out so it wants to go up maybe 1 or 2 pixels. So let's go maybe just 1. That looks pretty cool. So let's save that. So let's just copy and paste this right here into our top bar. And let's refresh. And it stayed, so that's awesome. Okay, there we go. We have a top bar here now that's pretty close. And so that's how I get my stuff pretty close to the image that I have, right? So let's see, let's just make sure this is correct. So now if we look at it, it's the same, pretty close to the same height and same width. And then we are pretty close in the center here where we match the size and everything. All I have to do now is change the font and make sure the spacing here is correct and then add these dots in here. So I want to show you some tricks, other things that you can do in here. One thing is that you can test out hover effects. So let's add a hover effect here. And what that looks like, if I just copy and paste this, and then I do hover like so, that's the pseudocode for hover. And let's delete this and leave that empty. And if we refresh, we can take a look at this A tag right here. And then now you can see if I select on the hover and click on hover, I get that CSS selector now. And so now let's change the color to aqua blue. Oop, there you go. So I guess that's aqua blue. You can't really see it. So let's change the color to something easier to see. Let's do like a green because that's pretty noticeable. Or red. Red's always a good one. So red. And so now if I take this off, this shows you how it looks like when it's in a hover. So let's take that off and we can close this out. Now when we hover over it, it actually turns red. You can also add some animations in here if you want, like if you wanted to do like position relative, and then I want to move it just slightly like 5 pixels. And then I want the opacity to go 0.5. So now when I hover over it, it's going to look like that. And we can lower this just slightly a little too, just to know how it goes. And so let's close this out. And so if we hover, it's going to move a little bit and then slightly go transparent, right? So you can play around with that. And if you like what you're doing, you can actually copy and paste it here. These are the 4 pseudo selectors you can actually use. So there's active, focus, hover, and visited. So there's my presentation for using the dev tools to actually lay out my website. And this is a really great tool if you want to get really pixel perfect